Hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm
We're
very
on.
excited that we're back again.
We're back again, yes.
Very, very interesting that God has been good. Thank God it took us a while, but we're back on your page.
Hallelujah. Look, there we are.
Yeah, we're
All
back
right.
on your page, and now people can know that we're on your page. You can invite your friends, your family friends, everybody, share it, and that we can be such an encouragement to you tonight, and also we can be a blessing
Absolutely.
to people that they are watching us tonight.
Absolutely. So, Pastor, you know, I have had a great experience tonight, but how was your week? You know, what was one thing this week that you hold on to and say, that really was working for me?
Actually, one of the things that has been in my mind for this week is that I keep telling myself that I want to be a treasure. I want to be an asset. I don't want to be a liability to anybody. I want to be somebody that anybody can come to me for anything at any time. I'll make myself available, not because I want you to give me something, or because I'm looking for a favor from you, or I want you to assist me, or I want you to help me for nothing. I just want to be an asset. I want to be an asset to people. I want to be in such a way that I can be able to listen. And one thing I'm learning to listen to people. Just let them pour their heart, and I can just listen to them. And I'm learning that, and that has been so good because I begin to see so many things that I'm not noticing about people. I begin to notice them, and I begin to appreciate people better. And also, you know, sometimes when we talk and we don't let other people talk, we don't gain anything from it.
Nothing.
But if you can pay attention and listen, you will discover that you can learn more by you listening.
You know, I've been getting ready for the circles I'm going to be doing in Cabo Verde, the healing circles, and I've been learning a lot. Like, I've learned that in Africa, healing is like so important to receive different ways of reaching your height spiritually. It's through dance, through art, through song, through poetry. And Africa really tends to put emphasis in that. At least I feel that way, certainly about Cabo Verde, which I'm most familiar with. And I'm sure the same thing is in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
I mean, so what's the comparison here? I mean,
you know, most of the things that we are sad about here in America, a lot of people back in Africa are not really sad about that, about those things. Despite the fact they have no resources that we have here, you can still find a melody in their heart.
Yes, I like
You know,
that.
they still make a melody in their heart,
Yes.
and they can dance, they can
Yes.
smile, despite the fact of the environment is not pleasant. Like I was talking to somebody yesterday, he said, there's no electricity. And he doesn't care about looking for a candle or looking for a torchlight. He said, oh, they just take the electricity. Everywhere it's dark. You know, I was like, oh. You know, it's not everybody that can take that. You know, oh, no electricity, you got to get a candle, you got to get a torchlight, you got to get some battery, you got to get some generator, you know, but no electricity is normal. And they're still happy.
Exactly.
If we can create that atmosphere, I think I went to Nigeria in November. When I arrive, I have to take a transportation from another city to another city, and they take me to the park. When I arrived at the motor park, they told me that 4 people are going to sit at the back and 2 at the front, then the driver. And come to think about it, I'm going to drive on this car for about 3 hours. I say, well, I don't have a choice. And 4 of us at the back, 2 at the front, and the driver, so about 8 of us in a little car. But you know what? We got there. We got to where we're going. Everybody was happy. But you see, you can still see the joy.
Exactly.
The happiness. In fact, I did a
centering.
I did a little video clip of a young guy that was just dancing away.
Oh, yes.
you know, not for no reason. It was just playing music and it was dancing and dancing and dancing. And I have to take my phone and begin to video him. And the more I video him, the more he dances, making a melody. And I think that is also a therapy for healing.
Oh my goodness, yes.
That is a therapy for healing. If we can just put a smile on our face, sometime when you're sad, if you can just put a small smile on your face, that make a huge meaning. That goes a long way. If you can just smile and just reflect and just say, you know what, today it's not good, but tomorrow it's going to be better.
Exactly. I'm trying to just look at this message because, oh, okay, I thought it was somebody trying to tell me that they couldn't see.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be better. So today we may be going through something, but I can assure you that tomorrow it's going to bring us so much joy and peace and happiness.
So think about those treasures. Because when I walked in here, you talked about little treasures. And think about those little treasures, because the treasures come from those little moments. Those moments when you can sit and listen. Those moments when you can find the centering of yoga and meditation and dance. Dancing through emotions. We do it all the time. It's what I'm doing in Cabo Verde, is circles dancing through emotions. And when you can find, when you have that spiritual healing piece to you, and it's part of your culture, it makes it easier, I would assume, to reach those levels of centering. Because you can find that rhythm or that melody that you need to make yourself feel the presence of what you're trying to achieve. So little treasures, right? So today, I am doing the Healing Hearts and Empowering Voices kind of circles, but group at my office here in New Bedford. And at the end, we ended with some words, and the girls came up with a word that they felt during the time of the process of the group. And we processed that briefly, and what they realized was those little treasures that they held, that they neglect because we're having to look at this global picture of life and people and being in this global world, and we forget to take that little piece in the middle that's us and look at that treasure. So, you know, when you talk about treasures and assets, listening is clearly a gift. And you're right. You learn by listening. And I've gotten to the point now where I enjoy listening because I'm like, what am I going to get from this? Where is this going? How am I perceiving it? What's my perception? What's their perception? And let me understand what this person is saying and doing. And I do that so readily, and I get so much from it because I'm getting to learn a piece about a person without judging them, and I'm getting a piece of their treasure. Right? So, in your culture, when you were a little boy, how did you find your pieces of treasure?
You know, it's so amazing because the way our parents actually brought us up, they make us discover something very unique that I find it difficult to explain to some people in the United States. When we are coming up as a child, they told us that there is a greatness inside of us. And they let us realize that the greatness inside of you is going to come with ups and downs. And I make you understand that if you make a mistake, you're going to start all over. So as we're growing up as a little boy, I remember I used to go to work with my father because my father is a trader. He sells shoes and do some little business, and I'm the last born of 7 children, and I'm his little baby. So I remember when I was 10 years old, he made sure in the morning I go with him to his little shop where he's trading, and he taught me a little bit trade, you know, how to buy and sell. Sometimes he's going to go buy and tell me to sell the things, you know. One thing I learned about my father is a man that run after his vision. Despite the fact his own father died very young age, and he has no anybody to help him, he has to learn on his own to survive. And one thing that he has taught us is for us to actually trust God. He told us that I don't have a lot of money to give you, and the only one thing I have to give you is God, because that's what I have. Because whatever I give to you, you may not appreciate it because it's your Father that gave it to you. But whatever God gives to you is more than enough.
Oh my goodness.
Because what I have to give to you, it may be small, you may not even appreciate it. But if you can be patient and ask God, He listen, He understand, He's going to give you more. And so when we're growing up, my father can give me just a penny and tell me, go ask my own Father, which is Almighty God, to give you more. And that's what we have learned. And we've learned to endure pain. As a little child, we have also endured hard working. One of the things that I've seen in my, I look at young people now, they don't want to work. They want everything to be handed over to them. And I hear some people, they just want to make money. Any money that you make easily, you cannot keep or you cannot sustain. It's better for you to build the wealth. And building wealth is very difficult, and it takes a lot of patience and endurance, because what you don't build, you don't know how to keep. What you don't build, you cannot sustain. What you don't build, you cannot maintain. So building something will require you to work very, very hard. And another thing that has been so strong in my heart, everything small can become big. Nothing big start big. Everything big start small. So it's a little idea you have in you can expand to become a multitude of blessing. The little money you have that you complain you don't have nothing can become big tomorrow. The little idea you have or the little counseling you're giving somebody can also multiply to be a blessing in the life of somebody. So these are the things that I came from Nigeria to America 10 years ago. When I came here, it was a very difficult environment for me because everything is different, People say I have an accent. People say, oh, we don't understand what you're saying. People say, oh, I don't understand the food. Like, for example, I can't eat the barbecue I can't eat the chicken with the barbecue sauce because we don't eat sugar with chicken.
Okay.
And the barbecue sauce is too sweet with chicken. So I find it difficult to eat barbecue sauce. Like, I can't eat sugar with chicken, and it's normal, And people laugh at me. I say, but in Africa, we can't eat sugar and chicken, but now I can eat barbecue with chicken. So those little thing changes. Culture is a little bit difficult, and also when you go back with us, or when we're going to go to Nigeria with you, you're going to discover that some of the things that we are crying about here, people it's joy for people over there. They don't really count so many things serious. They look at things like every opportunity they have is a blessing.
Right, exactly.
They appreciate everything that you give to them because you don't have to give it to them.
Exactly.
You don't have to talk to them. Exactly. You don't have to counsel them. You don't have to encourage them. So if you go out of your way to do something for them, they are so happy. They appreciate it. They embrace it. And they bless you back. And again, another thing that I discover that is not really rooted here is discipline and respect. Back in my own culture, I cannot see my father and just say hi to my father. I have to honor him. I cannot see my mom and just say, hi, Mom. No, I have to honor my mother. I have to go, like the lady will go on their knee and kneel down for their mom and kneel down for their dad. And the man is going to prostrate, go flat for their father and go flat, that's my own culture, for their mother. Is a honor and respect. I can't call my mom Margaret. Oh, Margaret. No, I have to give my mom a respect. I can't call my father David. No, come here, David. Oh, hi, David. I can't do that. My father said, who do you think you are calling me David? I have to call daddy, mommy. When I look at the culture here, there's no respect.
When you say respite, what do you mean? For me, respite means getting away from something and taking a break.
No, okay. What I mean by respect, by honoring somebody. Like for example, you are older than me. I can't just say Celina. I have to say, hi, Mom. How are you? How are you doing? Some say, oh, especially some people say, I'm not your mom. No, you're not that person's mom, but you have the wisdom of a mom. You can contribute something in the life of that person. You understand? So that's what I mean by giving somebody an honor. Yes. When you see somebody that is older than you, give them the honor that they need. Give them like, oh, don't just call them, just look at people and say, hi, and just walk away. Right. Take a moment and just, how are you? Yes. How are you doing, sir? Oh, how are you doing, ma? Yes. How are you doing? Just give people an honor. And it's what you give that you will receive. You get what I'm saying? Yes. What you give, you will receive. Exactly. If you don't know how to give, you cannot receive.
Exactly, because you're closed.
Yes, exactly. Yes. It's whatever you give that you receive. Like I was preaching on Sunday, and I was talking about a woman that lost her husband. And the husband is a very, very close to a man of God called Elijah. And when the husband died, the husband was owing some money to some borrower, some creditor. He owed a lot of credit. And the creditor came to her and said, look, you are our debtor. We need our money back. And they went to the house of the wife and they want to take the children so the children can be slaves.
Oh, wow.
So that they can pay off the credit that their father owed.
Nigeria?
No, in the Bible, the story in the Bible.
Okay.
So the woman now went to the man of God and said, look, your servant is very good to you. Now he's dead. And the creditor want to take my children so that they can be slaves, so that they can pay off what your servant owed. And the man of God told this woman, what do you have? The woman said, I have nothing. That is why I came to you. But I have a little oil in my house. The man of God said, okay, go around your neighbor. Borrow a vessel. Borrow a drum. Borrow a gallon. Beg them. When you gather so many gallons, put it in your room. And lock the door with your two sons. Pour that little oil in all the gallon. When you finish doing it, let me know. The Bible said the woman obeyed. The little oil she has left, she poured little into the drops into the gallon, and everything automatically filled up. And he told the man of God, I'll finish what you asked me to do. The man of God said, okay, go sell all those oil and pay your debt. Now what am I saying? There's something you have inside of you that you don't have a clue that you have.
Absolutely.
You don't know that you are a treasure. Despite the fact all the circumstances in your life is weighing you down. You're so discouraged, you're so depressed, you're losing your mind, you're losing everything, but there is a treasure inside of you. The woman was crying. She doesn't know what to do. But she has a little oil. She has a little. And that little stuff, she was expecting the man of God to actually give her money. Okay, don't worry, I'll give you the money to go pay everybody. No. The man of God said there is something you have that can take care of your debt. There is something we have inside of us that can wipe away our tears. There is something little inside of us that can bring a smile into our face. There is something inside of us, little, that can ignite like a fire and set a blaze around everybody around us. There's something inside of you that can make a difference in our community, in our society. Don't say, I'm nobody. You are somebody. Don't say, I want nothing. You want somebody. You want something. Excuse me. Don't say, I don't know what to do with my life. There's so much you can do with your life. Don't let the past put you in the past. We got to move forward to the future.
And we do. And we do need to move forward. And see, I think sometimes what happens in those little treasures that we contain within us, there are great big globs of glue that come and just attack it.
That's right.
And I think the simplicity of how you describe the culture and Cape Verdean culture and how they live it to make it better, to make a day better, where maybe we've lost that simplicity. So to get to that center where that treasure lives and resides, and actually to open that box and allow that gift to come forward, it has to go through so much because we have inundated with so many different things that are so complex. Now, you might say what we live here is very complex, but think about what they're living with in Africa. They're living with drought. They're living with famine sometimes.
You know what? When you say complex, something just kept coming to my mind as you were talking. Do you know the women in the village? They don't have gas to cook.
Yes.
They don't have electricity.
Right.
They'll gather the firewood.
Exactly.
Put a small pot outside.
Survival.
Cook, and the food tastes so good. So many times I eat those food as like, wow, they cook a rice on the firewood. It tastes so. In fact, the smoke on the firewood had some flavor to the food. That you just eat the food, I was like, oh, it tastes so good. And some of us, we have all these things, and we don't really appreciate
the complexities.
You know, Dr. Celina, for 5 years, I was fetching water from the well and washing my clothes from the stream, and I was so happy. In fact, I remember when my wife came to Africa for the first time, she drew water from the well. It's like, wow, you draw water from the well? Yeah. You go to the well, you fish the water, you drink the water, you wash your clothes, and you're so happy. You're not worried about little things, and you just, it's a very, very culture that when we look at those culture and look where we are now, we don't have a choice but to be grateful.
Exactly. And, I think that, and I may be wrong, and I wish that someone would write to us and let us know what your thoughts are.
Yes, please.
Yes, because, I'm just trying to unravel this, because I agree that what we think is complex, we don't understand the complexities of survival. Because maybe, and we do, and there's many that do, because they're living, I just came back from California, and they're living in tents all over the place there. And it's all over the world, and there's complexities everywhere. It's how we manage those complexities, how we cope with those complexities, how we can get through those complexities and look at them and see their importance or non-importance. So I think it takes what's inside of us to have the ability to look at it, to really, I was watching the Today Show this morning, and there was an actress on, and she was talking about, she said she was pregnant, and she didn't tell anyone because she didn't want all the paparazzi being around. So, but then she miscarried the baby, and so then everything came out, of course. And she was keeping it a secret. And what she said was, when I stopped keeping it a secret, it was easy. Things were easier. I could talk about it. But we take everything and everyone and all the things that are complex, and we kind of bring them in and we hold them there. Not everyone. And we kind of hold it there, which makes a more compilation of complexities. So I think that if we could find that simplicity back in ourselves. And I think a long time ago I said, when I was a kid, families rescued families. I mean, that still happens, but in many cases it doesn't happen. We see systems rescuing families. So we need to get back into how do we sort through those complexities together? How does someone see the complexity? You know, going to a different country, and sometimes I took 17 people to Cabo Verde in October. And some of them, you know, their family was from Cabo Verde, so they enjoyed the country, enjoyed seeing the culture, enjoyed the Motobaza, enjoyed Cabo Verde. But then there was a few that were like, oh, I can't go in that room. Oh my goodness, why is that there? And so many complexities that we bring upon ourselves. I live on an island where there are spiders. And so my thing is, wow, I'm coming, I can stay on Martha's Vineyard and I can have a great weekend, and it's not, but no, it's like, oh my God, is that bugs? Oh, bugs, oh, spider, oh, I can't stay here. No, I've had a woman when we went to Puerto Rico one time, and I got this timeshare, because I'm simple. Basically, I'm simple. I got a timeshare, I had a timeshare, so we went and stayed in the timeshare. It was a really nice place on a beautiful beach in Puerto Rico. But she couldn't stay there because the furniture wasn't modern enough. There wasn't any stainless steel refrigeration. She left me and went and stayed at the Ritz-Carlton. So sometimes we bring those complexities upon ourselves. Mm-hmm. We need to figure out how to cope with what's in front of us, because there's so many other Mack trucks coming at us. We have to figure out, how do we resolve the things that's sitting inside? Why should they own us? Why should they have ownership in us? Why should we let them move in? I had a little girl in my office today, and her mom was trying to wonder why she was so angry. Why only on a certain occasion she becomes really angry. Otherwise, she's fine. So we went through her life history, and there was abuse in her when she was like a little girl, maybe 5 years old. She's probably 10 years old now. And I went through this whole series of things, and finally it came out, is that she still sees the situation that occurred back then, and it bothers her. And so we don't even acknowledge sometimes the complexities in our children to erase some of that stuff from them. And it's not your job. I mean, but it's because you think they're fine, but when there's something that's imbalance, we have to look at why is that become an imbalance now. That means the complexities have become out of control. So we have to find the simplicity, those little treasures that live within. We have to, and guess what? I think the other piece of this is that I know in Cabo Verde, and I'm assuming in Nigeria and Ethiopia and all the other African countries, that spirituality is practiced seriously. I mean, that there's people doing healing dancing, and there's people doing yoga or some type of dancing, music, drumming, healing. So it's always in the mind of the people why they're connecting. I wonder if we're not connecting. I wonder if we just contain fragmentations that don't allow us to get that oneness. And that's what my book's all about, is getting that oneness, getting rid of the fragmentations. And it takes help. It takes somebody to come to pastor and say, can you talk to me more about that? I want to listen. Or Dr. Celina, my schedule's crazy busy, but can you talk a little bit more on that on your Tuesday night healing? Tuesday healing, because I want to hear more about that. How do we get the fragmentations down to simplicity? We can still have all the grandiosities, but when we have simplicity, we see things differently. They don't rule us, they don't control us, they don't manage us. I wanted a Mercedes when I first started in my practice, and I bought one, I bought two. And I still have it, actually. It's when I bought the second one, and it's old. But that was a perception that I needed. Now people say, well, that Mercedes is old. Why I said, because it still works, it still starts, it's in good shape, and it looks great, and I love it. So why do I need to add to that? That's my simplicity now. Now it's like, I don't need those things. They're nice to have, granted. But we can't put our assets into objects. We need to put our assets into our simplicities, our treasures, our gifts.
You, I'm so excited you mentioned this. it takes a mature mind and a disciplined mind to begin to understand that material things are not the assets that you actually need to survive.
Yes.
I think so many people do it for proof. That the moment you begin to do things to prove to somebody, you will run into trouble.
Exactly.
I've seen so many people are wearing Rolex of $10,000 that they cannot afford, and they will steal for them to wear Rolex, and they will find themselves in jail. So what have you achieved in wearing Rolex, and people are not, you are not happy about it? And another thing that I begin to discover is the people that you affect. The people that you affect are the great investor that you can ever have. Investment. The people that you affect are the great investment that you can ever have. It's not the house that you own. It's not the car that you have.
Exactly.
It's the life that you have touched. That person that is homeless, that you just give them a clothes or give them a shelter or just buy them a Burger King. That woman going through a trauma, you just give her a hug and just say, don't worry, everything is going to be fine. Or that lady that doesn't have no grocery in her house and you take $10 to go to Price Right and just buy little grocery for them. Those are what I call a big investment.
You know, I was just looking to see who's watching, and thank you, Maria Gomes, for my sister checking in. Alicia's on, and Alicia is very dear to both of us.
Yes.
And, you know, we talk about complexities. Well, her complexity, which I'm hoping one day she'll come here and sit with us and talk about how she has been able to continue to thrive in so many ways after losing 2 children accidentally. That's a complexity I don't think I could get through. I'm not quite sure I could do it, find that treasure within, but and I'm sure that I know that she still carries a heavy burden. But she's so amazing, and she needs to come and tell her story, because that is a complexity, and her treasure is laying within her. And we're getting ready to open that box pretty soon. And I think her treasure is to heal other women who are grieving. And I think that's what God has put in store for her, is that she's going to use her complexity to save other pains and emotional pains. So hopefully, Alicia, you'll come on and talk about your story at one point with us. I know it's difficult, but we're here to support you. So, you know, it's really difficult. We do get things confused because we get to the point where we look at objects as more valuable than our health sometimes more valuable than our family. We have to continue to collect these objects. We're going to work harder, work longer hours, be gone more often, and we expect that, our family will understand, and I'm sure they do, but they're starting to fade in their true treasures, and they're feeling like, why is this not right? Why doesn't this feel good enough for me? Why isn't the gifts that come behind this hard work feel appreciated? So we have to look at our what we're doing to create our stream of treasures, which being our children, our grandchildren, whatever the case might be. And in the school system, how would they get all the treasures that sit in those seats 6 hours a day, and they have all the treasures that they can build up so wonderfully, but yet there's a teacher or someone in that building that makes that child not feel like a treasure. So we have to constantly work on making sure that when their kids come home, that they are talking and they do feel like a treasure. Sorry, I've got a dry throat. So I want you to think about your complexities. Think about how they affect you. And I'm going to get some water and pass it on to the pastor for 1 minute.
Yeah. Dr. Celina is going to get some water. So, Mike, can you help her with some water? Yeah. So it's very, very important that we should know that it's very important that we should know that we are treasure. You have to know that you are treasure. You're a treasure. There's something great about you, something important about your life, and something unique about you. So we are treasure. Sorry, Dr. Celina, for that. You know, I was just talking about that now, right? Before we started,
Exactly.
about us getting some water.
I know, right? And I was like, no, you wanted this,
You know, I was just talking about us getting some water.
I should have listened.
You know?
You knew, but you
yeah,
knew.
Yeah, I said, we should get some water. I said, okay. But it's good,
Here's
it's good.
the other thing about your treasure.
Yeah.
That pastor doesn't really talk about. Maybe I shouldn't.
Uh-huh.
But
you should go ahead.
It's okay. So this is one thing that pastor doesn't talk about. Because pastor has a treasure. It's an amazing treasure. And pastor can usually tell me what's going to be occurring before it happens, like he knew I need some water today. So pastor has a prophetic gift.
Amen.
And, you know, so I treasure you.
Amen.
For all that you give to this community.
Amen.
And in providing them with a place that they can worship.
Amen.
And that they can come and feel freedom.
Amen.
And peace and
Amen.
worship.
Amen.
So, you know, Pastor City of Joy Church is on Spring Street in New Bedford. And pastor is doing some wonderful things here. And he's going to get even bigger and better. Amen. I know that he is, because his heart is there. So that's the other key to some of this. It's, you know, I'm really teaching everyone that comes through my office how to do heart breathing, regenerative feelings, and those kinds of things, because we have to keep the heart open. We have to keep the heart open, because I believe if we keep the heart open, then we're more receptive to what needs to come in.
That's right.
And you know, I think I mentioned this the last time I was here. I really want to be receptive to the Holy Spirit. I really want the Holy Spirit, and I even, you know, talk to the Holy Spirit, and I talk to God, of course, but I'm like, I want to be your friend. Let's, you know, how do we get together? How do we join hands on this? Let's be partners. Because I want my heart to be open. And, you know, and sometimes things, today when we were closing the group, I asked everyone to do some breathing. And I asked them to think about something that they would like to not have to deal with when they left my office today. And when I went into my meditation, I realized what I said when it just came out was, I don't want people fooling me. I don't want, because I'm so giving, that I don't want anyone to say they want to help me or do something with me, and then they fool me by not doing it or turn away. I mean, usually I can find, but I don't need those complexities. Because what happens is, it makes me feel personal. Like, why are they doing that to me? I was very nice. I tried to do what I could do, and why? It doesn't happen very often, but I don't want people fooling me. So I just want people to just be themselves. I want to be me with you. So be yourself with other people, and know what you don't want to let in. Know what you're going to, thank you. What you're going to, what you need to release so that you can receive those treasures. Can't receive it on a blocked, stopped, and flatlined heart. You've got to open it up. It's got to be receptive, right? So I think we're in a global crisis.
That's right.
So we're talking about our own personal treasures, but then we're in a global crisis of many things, many, many, many things. And that is something that is out of our hands, out of our control, but it affects us, right? So it's another complexity. It's getting to the point where I can't even watch the news anymore because it's so sad. I can't listen to our president anymore. And I'm sorry for those of you who do care for Trump, but I'm just speaking for Celina, is that he makes me feel so angry. And so it's like things that used to kind of relax me and kind of like me. Now I have to pull away and find. So but what it's done is it pulled me to the religious channels. So now before I go to sleep at night, I will listen to the religious channels because I want to hear what God has to say. And I kind of don't even care who's talking because I want this opened. I want it opened and I want it to be available for me to receive. Amen. Amen.
That is so powerful. We're going to pray tonight that God will open us up to some great thing. Dr. Celina, do you want to say hello to some people that are watching us tonight?
Yeah, we switched our. We're also on YouTube Live.
Yes, we're on YouTube Live.
How do we do that?
You can just go on Dr. Celina and page on YouTube.
So my page on YouTube is Oneness with Dr. Celina.
Yep, it's there, right. And then we finally get on your page.
Yes, and now we're looking at me on 5 keys. Rather than Celina Pina.
Yeah, because we have some problem at the beginning, but everything is all set. We can now stream live on your page. So next week, please, we can invite everybody to be on this page with us. Yeah, I see my wife is here. She say yes. What a testimony she is. Yeah.
Bonnie. So talk about a woman with a heart. I think I mentioned this about Bonnie before. I mean, this is a woman who just loves the world. She goes around the world giving hugs.
Wow.
And, she's amazing. She just, she just takes in the weary. She takes care of the lost.
Wow.
She's an amazing one. You're an amazing woman. You've done amazing things. And, her dad and mom, her dad was a police officer here in New Bedford when I was a little girl. And they were a lovely family. So, Bonnie, thank you for being with me. Alicia, Juan Pedro Cruz, I'm not quite sure, but thank you for joining me. I'm assuming that you're coming in from Cabo Verde. You can let us know who you are by sending me a quick text. That would be lovely. Simone, thank you, Simone, for being supportive. And Marlene, I miss you. So glad to see you watching. I really miss working with you, and we had so many great years together, so I hope you're well. And Nadine, my goddaughter, who is my little busy bee, I love you, and thank you for giving me your support. And Mary Adams, whenever I see your name, Mary, I always think about living in California and the two of us making that coffee. And you still need to send me the recipe. I don't know, it was like, we used to call it, I think it was called Poor Man's Coffee or something, right?
Wow.
I know you're laughing right now, so send me that little recipe. I love that coffee. I just got a heart. Who's that from? So, and of course, Michael's right here. He's our tech person, and he does an amazing job, but he sings. And Michael, you wouldn't sing a song for us for closing? Just one little song?
Next week he's going to sing for us.
Huh?
Next week. I'll hold him to that next week.
You keep promising me every year.
Next week, Mike, you hold us a song.
Next week, Mike is going to sing because this is a voice treasure from God, definitely, directly to his chords.
Amen.
And thank you, Shalanda.
Yes.
Shalanda. Thank you for all that you do for the women. What is it, Lift?
Yep, Lift.
And she does a lot of good programs here at the church. And thank you. And Maria Gomes, my sister, thank you. I appreciate it. And so next week we'll be back.
Yes.
Around 7:15.
Yes.
And then the following week I have to leave, but we'll take care of it.
Yeah, the following week is going to be Easter, so.
Oh, that's Easter anyway.
Yeah, that's Easter anyway, so after Easter we're going to come back. Yeah.
Very good, perfect.
Yeah. So we want to thank everybody. We love you so much. We believe in you. We believe that there's something great about your life. We believe that God wants to do something supernatural, incredible. Just reflect on your life, reflect on the good thing that he has done for you, things he has in mind and things he has set to do. And we love you, and God bless you, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you.
Amen. God bless you. Bye.
Ciao.